to you about last week when we had the call, when we briefly chatted last week, setting this one up. But your book, your autobiography, The Free Count, I read it a number of years ago. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant from cover to cover. Just brilliant. And I've read a lot of autobiographies from wrestling, and truly, I so enjoyed reading this. So yeah, having your own book, that just how was that, and putting this together?
Yeah, again, I have to thank my wife for that, because it was her idea originally. You know, obviously people like Arda said, you know what, you've got a lot of stories, you got to tell your story. And I said, you know, but who's going to, that was me, you know, my mentality back then, who's going to want to read it? He says, trust me, people will want to read your story. And so my wife convinced me. She said, you know, start sitting down at the computer. Every time a story pops in your head, write it down. And then we'll put it together and make a book out of it. So that's what we did. You know, and we put it out there. We got the publisher, ECW Press of all people, which is nice, you know. And I got to thank my good friend Steve Argentero, who used to work at TSN here in Canada. He does wonderful photography work. He took that picture that's on the cover, so I have to give him a big shout out for that. And it was fun putting it together, but trying to remember some of the old stories. But every once in a while, something would make a memory click. And you go, oh, got to write that down. And I'm not a great typer. I'm the 2-finger typer guy. I can't do this thing. You know, so it took me a little longer than most people would, but I got it done. And now people are saying, yeah, you should write a second book. And who knows, maybe there's one in the works. I'm not saying yes or no.
There's plenty more. There's going to be plenty more stories from your tenure in pro wrestling. So I look forward to it. If that comes to fruition, if the fans get a second book from Jimmy Korderas, sign me up. I will want to read that. So yeah, hopefully that becomes a thing.